Jannik Sinner lashes out at coach in on-court outburst as future remains uncertain. Jannik Sinner's frustrations boiled over on Friday night during the Paris Masters quarterfinals when he was caught swearing at his team mid-match against Ben Shelton. Despite taking the first set and leading 3-1 in the second, the Italian player began muttering toward his box after being broken to love, demanding to know why they were effing sitting down. Sinner managed to regain his composure and close out a 6-3 win, but his future with coach Darren Cahill remains uncertain, as Cahill is expected to leave the team at the end of the season. His quarterfinal match against Shelton on Friday told a familiar story. Sinner looked shaky at times but still managed to win in straight sets. The four-time major champion expressed his frustration toward his team early in the second set, urging them to show more energy. After playing a sloppy game, Sinner gestured toward his box, waving his arms. Commentator Adam Fielder noted, "You don't see that often from Sinner. I think he was just asking his team to stand up, they found it quite funny." Darren Cahill stayed firmly seated. Shelton immediately broke back, prompting Sinner to confront his coaches during a changeover. "I get a break and you're effing sitting down," he vented at Cahill and the team, who responded with supportive shouts of Forza. Sinner secured another break late in the second set, thanks to a Shelton double fault, giving the Italian the chance to serve for the match, which he did successfully, booking his spot in the semifinals with a winning shot. The 24-year-old may want to tread carefully with Cahill, as he hopes to persuade the esteemed Australian coach to stay on his team. At the start of the season, Cahill announced this would be his final year coaching Sinner. However, after Sinner's Wimbledon victory, Cahill appeared to reconsider. When asked if he might change his mind, Cahill replied, "I don't want to answer that. You know what? You'll have to ask Jannik." During the Italian-language portion of his post-match press conference, Sinner joked, "It depends on whether I want to tell the truth or not. We made a bet before the final. I told him if I won, he could decide whether to stay or leave at the end of the year. Now the choice is mine." As the 2025 season nears its end, Sinner and Cahill have yet to discuss their future plans. Before last week's Vienna Open, the world number 2 told ATP Media, "To be honest, we haven't talked yet. We said we'd finish the year and then I could ask him for a long chat to try to convince him." But in any case, whether he stays or not, he's been an incredible person and obviously a coach who kept the whole team together in tough moments. "He's like a second father to me, so I'm happy to have him here. It's a great privilege to work with him. Our goal is something very positive, that he stays, and I'll need a lot of hope for that." Sinner keeps chasing world number 1 as Paris Masters title looms. Jannik Sinner still has a chance to reclaim the world number 1 ranking at the conclusion of the 2025 Paris Masters if he lifts the title. The Italian, already into the semifinals after defeating Ben Shelton again despite physical doubts, admits he's taking things day by day, focusing on each individual challenge, the next being Alexander Zverev. With his match-by-match mentality, Sinner continues to pursue his goal of regaining the top ranking at the end of the 2025 Paris Masters. The Italian needs to win the title in the French capital to return to number 1, at least for a few days, and overtake Carlos Alcaraz, but he prefers not to focus on that and instead on overcoming the remaining hurdles, just 2 wins away from the championship. The player from San Condito acknowledged that it was a tough battle, even if the scoreline, 6-3 over a disappointing Shelton, didn't show it. "Right now I'm not thinking about the ranking. It all depends on how I'm playing. We're taking it day by day. Every day brings really tough challenges. Today was especially hard. I'm very happy to have gotten through it. Whatever happens, happens, right?" he said after the win over the American. Sinner admitted that it's been a challenging season and that reaching the semifinals in Paris means a lot. "Getting to the semifinals here in Paris at the end of the year means a lot. It's been a very long season with great results. I never take these results for granted. I'm happy to be where I am. Tomorrow is a very important day. I'm looking forward to it. The crowd is amazing. They cheer for everyone, no matter who's playing. Let's see what tomorrow brings," explained the Italian. Now he faces the challenge of taking on the defending champion and world number 3 Alexander Zverev to reach a final where he'd likely be the favorite against Felix Auger-Aliassime or Alexander Bublik. 2 more tests could return him to the top before the ATP finals, putting all the pressure on Carlos Alcaraz, who was already envisioning himself finishing the year as world number 1 but, after skipping Shanghai and losing early in Paris, will need a strong showing at the year-end championships. The toll on Sinner's body. Jannik Sinner's body is starting to show signs of strain. The world number 2 openly admitted he's not at his physical best after defeating Francisco Cerundolo in the round of 16 at the Rolex Paris Masters. Despite winning 7-5, 6-1, the Italian showed clear signs of fatigue and muscle discomfort. "I'm trying to manage it as best as I can, but obviously I'm not at 100%, he confessed bluntly after the match. His words reflect an evident reality: Sinner is at his limit after a year full of emotions, demands, and an unforgiving schedule. Sinner has always been known for his composure on court and professionalism off it, but even the most disciplined players have their limits. Last week he won the Vienna title, a triumph he celebrated with the intensity of someone who knows how hard it is to stay at the top. But that effort is now beginning to take its toll." During his match against Cerundolo, the Italian appeared slower on his feet and less explosive than usual, especially in the first set. In the second, he relied on talent and grit to close out the match convincingly, but signs of pain were visible throughout. "I was up a break twice in the first set but couldn't take advantage. I put myself in a tough position. I'm happy with how I managed the match. I felt much better afterward," he explained. The 2025 season has been turbulent for Jannik Sinner. He started the year at full speed at the Australian Open, showing dominant tennis before a temporary doping suspension forced him to stop abruptly. After his return, the Italian showed admirable resilience, reaching Grand Slam finals and staying in the battle for world number 1 alongside Carlos Alcaraz. But the price has been high. His body, pushed to its limits, is now demanding rest. Sinner confirms romance with famous model and ex-girlfriend of Schumacher's son. Jannik Sinner has put an end to rumors of a supposed love triangle involving model Brooks Nader and Leyla Hasanovic. The Italian tennis player was polite but direct, confirming his relationship with Leyla Hasanovic, the former girlfriend of Mick Schumacher, Formula One driver and son of legend Michael Schumacher. Sinner thus makes official his romance with Leyla, with whom he has been linked for months. "Thank you so much for the support, the work, the effort. Even understanding me isn't always easy, but thank you for your commitment. My family, my girlfriend, my friends, and even those who support us from home, thank you all so much for the support," said Sinner after defeating Alexander Zverev in the Vienna Open final to claim the 22nd title of his career. The famous Sinner phone wallpaper. A few months ago, the Italian press unleashed a media storm around Jannik Sinner. The reason had nothing to do with his performance on court but rather a personal detail that didn't go unnoticed by photographers or gossip outlets. Sinner was photographed holding his phone, and on the screen, clearly visible, was the image of a young woman whose identity quickly became the subject of speculation. Journalists soon identified her. It was Danish model Leyla Hasanovic, a prominent figure in the fashion world and, notably, the former girlfriend of driver Mick Schumacher, son of the legendary Formula One champion Michael Schumacher. The discovery spread like wildfire in Italy, where Sinner is already seen as a national icon not only for his flawless tennis but also for his carefully maintained public image. The revelation of who appeared on his phone wallpaper sparked both surprise and curiosity among fans, as the young star has always been extremely private about his personal life. Until now, Italy's top tennis player had avoided commenting on romances, close friendships, or possible partners, but he has now confirmed the relationship. Leyla Hasanovic, of Danish origin, has established herself as one of her country's most promising models, working with major international brands and maintaining a strong social media presence. Her relationship with Mick Schumacher was widely covered by the German press and motorsport fans, who saw in them the union of two young people already synonymous with success. That story, however, ended, and both have since moved on. In a country where the private lives of top athletes quickly become matters of national interest, the romance between Sinner and Hasanovic is no exception, especially considering that Jannik, at just 23, is one of tennis's rising global stars, seen as a natural successor to the great champions of recent decades. Every move he makes, on and off the court, is closely watched, much like Spain's Carlos Alcaraz, who has also been linked to several young women. The race for world number 1 intensifies. Italian tennis star Jannik Sinner, currently ranked number 2 in the world, has a golden opportunity to finish the year as world number 1, though it doesn't depend solely on him. Sinner recently won the ATP 500 title in Vienna, defeating Germany's Alexander Zverev in a tight final, and is now competing in the quarterfinals of the Paris Masters 1000, the last tournament of this category in the season. Carlos Alcaraz's surprising early exit in Paris, as the current world number 1, opened the door for Sinner to dream of ending the season on top, though he'll need to win everything remaining in the coming weeks and hope for some favorable results. If he wins the Paris Masters 1000 title, Sinner would return to world number 1 with 11,500 points, overtaking Alcaraz, who sits at 11,250. However, the ATP finals will make things tighter. Sinner is the defending champion, meaning he cannot earn additional ranking points if he wins again, while Alcaraz only has 200 points to defend. Thus, Alcaraz would only need to earn 600 points at the ATP Finals, achievable by winning all 3 group stage matches, to secure the year-end #1 spot regardless of Sinner's results. There's also a possible scenario where Alcaraz and Sinner face each other in a decisive match for the top ranking. This would happen if the Italian finishes first in his group and the Spaniard second, setting up a semi-final clash between the two. What worries Sinner most is his physical condition. In both the Shanghai Masters 1000 and the Paris Masters, he has not looked fully fit, which could be a clear disadvantage in this final stretch of the year. Sinner and Alcaraz have dominated the circuit throughout 2025, facing each other in the last 3 Grand Slam finals and leaving a significant gap between themselves and the rest, and all signs point to this rivalry continuing for seasons to come.